Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Alex Murdaugh's alibi has been shredded by a video, a caregiver, and now his vehicle telematics also undermine his story. If Murdaugh hadn't anticipated Paul capturing footage of a dog's tail moments before the incident, and if he had bargained on the caregiver playing ball, it seems he may have also assumed the telematics from his 2021, it's a black 2021 Chevy Suburban. I think he perhaps assumed that the telematics were encrypted, right? It was from the same OnStar navigation system we saw in the Vicky White case. Did he know that? Did he know it was encrypted and thus felt that he could confidently make certain statements? Now, according to the Daily Mail, Dwight Falkowski, an FBI electronics engineer, said that the data from the 2021 Chevrolet Suburban's onboard computer was encrypted. It was something he's never encountered before. And then he said he told jurors, and it might be just updated technology, that might just be what it is, updated modern manufacturing standards. But he told jurors that this encryption had been done by the manufacturer, and it took the FBI a year to decrypt. Seems like it was quite a job. The FBI had to take another 2021 Chevy Suburban and then sort of reverse engineer the computer encryption to, in the words of the Daily Mail, crack the code. What they found appeared to shatter his alibi. And so what do we know? We know the murders appear to have been committed at about 8:50 p.m., 10 to 9 at night. About 15 minutes later, time enough to head to the house, shower, change his clothes, and put bloodied clothing in the washer, the Chevy starts up. It also appears that the caregiver was right. She said Murdaugh spent 15 to 20 minutes at the house, while the telematics show that the vehicle was likely stationary for no more than 21 minutes. While parked likely outside his mother's house in Almeida. I watched some of this testimony while it was playing out. I found it incredibly drawn out and dull and boring. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a summary of all the timestamps and what they mean, something that I think was sorely lacking in the courtroom presentation. But before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You can follow me on Twitter at Crime Rocket. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, share, leave a comment. You can also hit the thanks button. And let's get started. So there you have it. 9:03:44. And what's important just to bear in mind with that is there is vehicle activity that commences at 9:05. Right? Not at 8:30, not at 8:15, not at 9:45. About 15 minutes after the crime is supposed to have been committed. Then a couple of minutes later, almost 9:07, it fires up, and then it is taken out of park a second later. If you go through the rest of it, it looks like he went to Almeida. It takes about 15 minutes to get there. It looks like he took about 16 minutes. Then he's in Almeida for 21 minutes, or it looks like the vehicle doesn't move for 21 minutes. Now, obviously, based on the caregiver's testimony, he was in Almeida, so how else did he get there than via his vehicle? So both, if you don't accept everything in terms of the caregiver's testimony, well, then certainly this backs it up. Equally, if you don't accept that this is necessarily means that he went there, well, if you cross-reference the testimony with this, they reinforce one another, right? So he's finished at his mother's house in Almeida at 9:43 and 5 seconds, right? Just before 9:45, and then the car is taken out of park. It's put back into park a couple of minutes later. Maybe he forgot something there. Maybe he takes a call. Maybe he sends a text. That's something you'd really want to do, is cross-reference this to the cell phone records. At 16 minutes to 10, it's taken out of park again, and then the car is out of park for 16 minutes. And then at 10 p.m., looks like it's exactly 10 p.m., it's back into park again. And that does correspond to him arriving back at the ranch. Then a minute and 17 seconds later, it's taken out of park. And then there's a series of out of park, back into park, out of park, back into park. It's unclear if the out of park, back into park after 10 p.m. refers to MURDAUGH stopping to open and close the front gate. It could also stop near the property where Maggie's phone was found, but since there are several more, it's not just two, it seems the vehicle may also have gone back to the house, back to the crime scene, and possibly went to the house to collect a shotgun and then back to the crime scene. So there you have it. Summarized, between 10 p.m. and 10:13 p.m. when he's arrived back, the car was taken out of park 5 times. Seems like there was a lot of activity driving back and forth. Bear in mind now it's much later and there's very less likely to be traffic sort of driving around the area. I find it interesting that despite taking a year to decrypt the vehicle's activity, they were still not able to pull any GPS data. So the decryption at least was able to cover that aspect. As I said earlier, I found the testimony around this data mind-meltingly dull. I think we were all really looking forward to the telematics in the Kylie Rodney case. We never got to see that. Well, we've gotten to see some telematics, obviously a lot less than we would have seen in the Kylie Rodney case. But counsel, I think, could have livened it up by, first of all, showing photos of the vehicle, also showing a map, and I think he could also have asked the agent, the lawyer could have asked the agent, point to the map, where do you think this milestone, this timestamp is likely to take us in terms of the story. The way that it's presented is all done in a sort of cerebral way, a hypothetical way, and in the air sort of way. You're supposed to sort of keep track and imagine in your own mind. I don't think that is the right way of doing it. Make it visual, make it specific, make it clear, make it sort of colorful. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to take it further than that. I will be following up this episode with an analysis of the latest information in the Nicola Bully case. So look out for that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.